Hi everyone, I'm a board certified anesthesiologist assistant living and working in Florida. Thank you so much for your support on my other video. This week I'll be covering CAA compensation. I think it's important to understand what you're getting yourself into if you're looking into the CAA profession and getting through the application process. Even if you're just in school and you're getting through another month of brutal examinations. So I definitely find the CAA salary and compensation to be worth it. I think it's an incredible salary to have, and I hope that I answer any questions that people may have about the compensation. I know that there's not a lot of clear information on the internet, and it also can get confusing, and people can mix up the CAA compensation with anesthesia techs. Anesthesia techs are a super vital part of the team, but there is a difference in the compensation, so I really hope that this will answer some of the questions people have. So the salaries that I'll be covering and the numbers and the rough ranges I'm giving is more so for a new graduate. With experience in healthcare, the salaries and the benefits and PTO tend to grow. So if I was at my job for 20 years, I would increase my salary would go up, my PTO would go up, possibly retention bonuses with time. So again, rough numbers for people just fresh out of school and what we could get compensated for as new graduates. So without further ado, I'm going to be breaking the video down into a couple of different parts because compensation is more than just the salary. So I'm breaking the video down into salary, bonus income, benefits, and PTO. In terms of salary, Gasworks is one of the best websites to look for that information. Gasworks divides anesthesia personnel into AAs, CRNAs, and anesthesiologists, so you can see the compensation for all three of those personnel. So I did a quick search in Gasworks and I found that the lower compensation listed was about $140,000 in Georgia, and on the higher end I saw about $210,000 in the Midwest. So I want to say in my personal search for a job, I was heavily considering job offers in the $160,000 range in Florida, and I've also come across offers that are in the $220,000 range in the Midwest. I actually have two classmates and friends that have taken on a job in the Midwest that pays $220,000 as your base salary. So again, there are other opportunities to make extra income, but just base salary, what you will be getting without any overtime or bonuses or anything else, will be $200,000 in this particular job, which is an incredible amount to make fresh out of school. I do want to say that there tends to be a higher amount in the Midwest, and there's also a lower cost of living, which is something to consider. If you're a new graduate and you can afford, in terms of your overall life, to go to the Midwest, that could be an awesome opportunity. Maybe you could grab a friend and a couple of you could go out there, really build your net worth and start investing, paying off loans, and take advantage of those opportunities out there, and then, settle in a different area if that's not where you want to be. I made the decision to be in Florida. I'm from New York City and my boyfriend is from New York City as well, so it matters to us to be in a city that has some restaurants to it. It has a beach close by, waterfront kind of area. We are very happy in Florida, and I also have an awesome compensation and package in Florida. And I do want to point out that in Florida you might not see the same ranges that you'll see in the Midwest. But the great thing about Florida is that there isn't a state tax. So if you compare some of the Midwest salaries, it is very comparable to some of the Florida salaries when you take the state tax out of those Midwest salaries. So that's something to consider in your job search as well. The next category I want to go into is bonus income. So I covered base salaries, but beyond base salaries, there's a lot of different ways that anesthesia personnel can make money, and one of them includes bonuses. So out of school, a lot of jobs offer relocation bonuses, sign-on bonuses, referral bonuses, and tuition repayment. So I've seen in the range of $5,000 to about $30,000, and this is on a per year basis. The contract is sent to you and it is for an allotted amount of time, for example, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. So you commit to that contract and then you get a certain amount in terms of the bonus per year that you've committed. Now, it can get a little complicated if you don't complete a number of years that you've signed up for. When that happens, you would have to return the bonus for the year that you did not complete. So that's something to keep in mind. I think that you should be conscientious of short-term and long-term goals in that sense. So you should really know yourself, know what you want to accomplish in the short term, and see if you want to get a longer or shorter contract. If you have a family and all of your family members, all of your friends, you grew up in that area and you see yourself there for 5 years, you know, it could make sense for your situation to get a longer contract and possibly get a higher sign-on bonus. If you see yourself as someone that wants to move around and go to different states possibly and just explore the profession and, you know, see different cultures, see different states, you might not want to get the same contract as someone that has family, has bought a house, and is very established in a particular city or area. So another way you can make extra income is with overtime. I'm going to use my hospital as a particular example because that's what I'm familiar with and it will be the simplest to follow, but there might be some difference based on the hospital that you get signed to. So in terms of overtime, my hospital in particular, we are assigned 40 hours a week, and then 1 or 2 times a month, I'll get a weekend call and I'll get a weekday call. However, because I'm a New York grad and I'm trying to build up wealth and pay down loans, I tend to pick up more call shifts. However, some jobs might not even require call of their employees. Some jobs might have residents who pick up the call or pick up the night calls. There's a job in Florida where they have a team of people that come on and start working at night around 7 p.m. and do 7 p.m. until 7 a.m. And these people that do the shift will work 1 week straight, so 7 days of that night shift, and then they'll have 2 days off. Now for them, because they do that, that allows for the people that work in that job to not have any weekday call, and they don't have any weekend call that is at night. So again, there's different possibilities in terms of call, but in my particular hospital, there's some mandatory overtime in a sense in terms of call, but you can also trade that. You can give it to someone that wants to pick up call, and it's not a lot of hours compared to residency where you will be doing 80 hours regardless. Now, another way to make extra income outside of your salary is to have special shift schedules. Anesthesia allows for flexible schedules such as 12-hour shifts, 10-hour shifts, 24-hour shifts, that shift where you work 1 week of nights and then you get 2 weeks off. So when you do something like that, there's a lot of flexibility and a lot of free time that you can take to work on hobbies, travel, you know, enjoy yourself, but you also have a lot of opportunity to work more. There's a couple ways that you could work more. You can work more in your own hospital if there's a need for it, or you can go to neighboring hospitals and pick up shifts at those hospitals and fulfill that need. In my hospital, I have coworkers that go to other hospitals and pick up shifts there, and I also have coworkers that have picked up shifts at my hospital, but primarily are employed at another hospital. So there's a lot of extra income that can be made in terms of overtime, especially because of the flexibility that anesthesia allows for. I had one coworker tell me that she made $100,000 above her base salary working in Florida, which is incredible, and that definitely helps people set themselves up for financial success. So that's something else to take note of. One thing I want to cover is paid time off, PTO, which is another way we're compensated. I've seen that new grads get offered around 5 to 7 weeks. Again, there's room to grow. And in terms of growth, I've heard of jobs that allow people to roll over weeks, and they have no limit on the number of weeks that you can roll over. So people could have months of PTO that has accrued by staying at one particular job for 10 years. Now, I want to talk about what you can get as a New York graduate and the numbers that I've seen. So I've seen about 5 to 7 weeks of paid time off, which is incredible. For me personally, I am not using up all of my weeks this year. I have already scheduled my weeks off. I plan on having a reserve of PTO that I can use in case something comes up. If I have any sick days or emergencies, I have a week or so allotted to that, and then I have another week that I want to use and roll over into next year. My boyfriend is in graduate school, and next year he'll be graduating. So I want to roll over weeks to have a more extended vacation with him next year. Again, there's a lot of flexibility that you can do with your PTO. Some jobs allow for you to also just trade in your PTO week and get money for it in exchange for the number of days that you would have had PTO for. So that's another way that you can make extra income if you find the PTO is above what you need. Okay, so one of the CAA compensation topics I want to touch on now is early investing and benefits. One of the great benefits of going into the CAA profession is that we have less schooling compared to a medical student and an anesthesiologist. So our schooling is about 2.5 years, and then we're working and making this awesome salary, getting all these other benefits and building our net worth. Whereas if you had gone into the medical school route, you would probably still be in school. You'd have to have a few more years of schooling, then you'd have to go into residency, and you possibly would go through a fellowship. Now, when you go the CAA route, you have the opportunity to start investing sooner, let the compound interest grow, could potentially set you up for financial independence at an early age. That's what I've been planning on. I got out of school, I paid some of my loans down, and given the fact that COVID's happening right now, there's a 0% interest, so I've put money into investment accounts and I'm letting that grow. And I hope that with discipline, that in 15 years or maybe even less, I could have enough financially to choose whether or not I want to work, which is the movement called FIRE, Financial Independence, Retire Early. Now, I don't think I would ever retire early. I think I would still want to work. And the only thing is I would have that choice. I would have more flexibility. I could choose to pick up shifts or maybe cut down on my hours or still continue to keep up with being a full-time employee, but I would know that if I had to or if something happened, I would be financially stable. So that's an awesome part about being a CAA and having less schooling. If you are older, I think it still works in your favor because you can still catch up on investing and possibly buy a house that you have never been able to buy. So I think it's a benefit regardless of what age you are. Okay, so another topic to touch on in terms of benefits and retirement, your hospital will be matching your retirement into your 401k, and I've heard of matching up to 22% into your 401k, and that would be in a hospital in the Midwest, which is incredible. The people that have that 22% matching into their 401k, I've heard have become millionaires based on that retirement account alone. So that's something to really consider. You know, when you're going into this profession, I think it pays off in so many ways. There's a lot of information that I've covered in terms of CAA compensation, and if you have any more questions, I'm so happy to answer more. Obviously, I love personal finance, so I could make another video on this or, you know, do a Q&A kind of video answering any of the final questions people have on this topic. I hope that my videos are encouraging people and inspiring people to look more into the CAA profession. I think if you're an applicant that has been inspired to go into the CAA route and you don't have any CAA clubs in your school, I think it would be a great opportunity for you to take the initiative and start a club in your school. And I think it'll make you look like a great applicant when you're applying to schools, because we really need people that take initiative and want to push the profession forward. I think if you found this information to be valuable and you want this profession to be in your state, reach out to your state legislators. I truly believe that people across this nation should have the opportunity to be a CAA and benefit from all of the awesome things that we can do as CAAs. So if you find that to be the case for you, reach out to your state legislator and try to see what could be done in your own state. Thank you everyone for sticking around and learning about the CAA compensation. I think it's awesome and I'm very happy to talk more about this. If you have any questions, again, leave them down below. So like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you next week.